Okay folks, I found this by the side of the road, and this is what we're using as much as we can find, because the op shops are closed due to this COVID-19 outbreak here in Sydney, Australia. We're all under lockdown, so it's not looking too flash. The numbers, the figures, spiralling out of control. We have to try our best to minimise whatever. It just gets a bit wearying, folks. I really have no way. The only way we can get out of this lockdown, folks, is to get vaccinated, and vaccinated as fast as possible. I know most people don't like the AstraZeneca because of its reputation of causing fatal blood clots, but blood clots are a lot more rare than, say, a car accident where someone dies. COVID-19 is much more of a killer, so if you catch that COVID, you're going to suffer, and you could easily die. You don't want that, folks. This is what the vaccine's there for, to protect. So you got to accept that there are always risks in life, and this is just one of them, and the benefits outweigh the risk. This is what we're photocopying, this meshy little number we have here. It's made out of, it's got this sort of mesh kind of material and all these patterns. I actually think maybe the love heart could be a good one to focus on, because we all need a bit of love in our lives, folks, and we all need to focus on love and peace and try as best as we can, but I'm not perfect. I do find this lockdown very disturbing. I'm trying to keep my life going as much as I can despite this, and it's really not as easy as it looks, trying to keep a happy, optimistic outlook on things, because it is a disturbing thing we're dealing with, and it's not as easy trying to deal with it. So I actually wonder if we're going to leave it on full colour. I'm trying to be optimistic, folks. I'm trying to keep my demos going, but I'm not afraid of death, folks. I must put that into perspective. I don't fear dying, except if it's a suffering, long and lingering kind of death. But I'm not afraid of death in itself. Now that looks like interesting, but we've lost some of the love heart. So I think maybe we could reduce the enlargement a bit. But basically, I've used to fear death, folks, so I can understand why. I get an idea as to why people don't want to take AstraZeneca. But basically, I'd more likely fear the pandemic itself, the disease that the vaccine's designed to protect from. I'd fear that one more, folks. But basically, I used to fear death, but I'm very fortunate that I'm one of the people who's learned to come to grips with it. I am ready to go if I have to go, if there's no other choice in life for me to go, if I have to go. I'm not ready to go. That's the ironic thing is I'm not ready to go yet, because I do feel in my soul and in my deepest being that I have to be here. I have to be here, folks. I have to be alive to do things in this world. My story isn't finished yet. And I sense it, folks, that my story isn't going to end. I feel it, folks. I really do. I feel like my time has not arrived. But I know that for a lot of people, they can't say the same about their lives, and they're not ready to die because they're scared of what happens in the final analysis, what happens when you die. And that's a valid question for any human to ask, what happens when you die? You know, do you go to a happy place, or do you go to a sad place? Do you go to a place of or do you not go anywhere? Like, is there nothing there? You know, there's all sorts of questions that people have asked about death, and it's really scary for a lot of people, and people are afraid of the side effects of AstraZeneca, but you're more likely to die of COVID. COVID's easy to catch. The Delta strain is really, really fast. It moves very quickly. It's extremely infectious. It's not like the old versions or versions of COVID where you could control the disease with a lockdown, and you could get out of lockdown within weeks rather than months. And basically now the game has changed, and the only way to control this Delta strain is to get vaccinated. There is no other way out of this lockdown sitch. There's no other way, folks. There's no other way. I actually think that'll make the centre. There's no other way to escape lockdown, and that is to just get the AstraZeneca dose. Ask your GP about it if you're really scared about what the odds are. You know, you're more like, as I said, car accidents, you know, you're more likely to die in one of them. You know, your house could catch fire. You know, you just don't know. But car accidents are indeed a common occurrence, and basically we all take that risk. We all get into a car and we all take the risk on the road, and it's so common to have a car crash that is fatal. You just watch the 6 o'clock news and it's there. And basically, you know, there's a lot of issues that people take risks, sometimes stupid ones. So this is an investment, so that it's not just about you, it's about the whole of Sydney, it's about the whole of Australia, and ultimately about the whole of the world, that we all get vaxxed. You know, we just gotta fucking just be brave, you know? Just be brave, you know, because we can't live in lockdown forever. You're going to lose your fucking job. You may die of hunger, you know, if you don't have a job. You know, you might end up on the street and die on the street. You know, you got to consider what the effects are going to be, you know, with a prolonged lockdown. It's not going to work. Anyway, that's come up looking a real treat. I was meant to talk about love, but I ended up talking about fear of death and whatever. I think that looks interesting. I think now we can call it quits.